All right, so if you want to get the graph on here, what you have to do is change the scale. So if you guys look at your packets, the scale on the y-axis goes from 6 down to -6. So if I'm going to change that on here, I'm going to go to the wrench over here and start changing those boundaries. So the y-axis, I want it to look exactly like my paper, right? So I change this to 6 and then down to -6. I also want to see the numbers between, because sometimes I think you guys get confused when you see 0 to -2 and you're like, oh, wait, there's a -1 in the middle, right? So I changed the step. So if I wanted to go every 2, I put 2. If I wanted to go every 4, I put 4. But if I wanted to go every 1, I put a 1. Okay. Another thing is sometimes those grid lines in the middle also look confusing. So what I'll do is I click minor grid lines and turn that off. That way you have just the integers, right? Now the key part is the x-axis, because if I look at the here, it says degrees, right? From 0 to 90 to 190, 180. So Karam, as I'm going through this, I want to start at 0 on the x-axis, and I want to go up to, let's see, how far are we going? 540, so 540 degrees. Okay, and I want to go every 90 degrees. Okay, so I change the step to 90. But the last thing I got to do is let the computer know I'm using degrees. And if you notice, there's a button for degrees here. I hit degrees, and now I'm ready to graph it. So now when I put this on here, sine of x, it'll show up. But now let's say, like on the bottom of your guys' paper down here, notice that it starts to turn into radians down there. So now I go to the wrench, click radians, and I know it looks weird, but I got to change the x-axis. So the step is going to be, what's that first number here? Pi over 2. So what I'm going to do is actually, there's no pi button. So I click pi, and then the pi shows up. Okay. You could open up the little keyboard in here for Desmos, and that'll do the same thing. Okay, but you click pi slash to get a fraction, and then 2. The last part I got to do is I got to change the x-axis. It goes up to 3 pi, so I put 3pi. And now it shows just like it does on my paper. So if I want to type that in now I can type it in. And actually, this also does theta. So if I move myself out of here, where's that little keyboard? There it is. So now if I look for theta here, where is theta in here? Is it right? There it is. So I can put theta if I want and type that in there and put like +2, and it should recognize that or no? I guess it doesn't like theta. All right, we'll have to figure that out. Just use x for now. Okay? All right, so that's just one way